Hi everyone. So I wanted to get on here and share a few other zombie dreams that I've had. One being back in 2022, shortly after I had the one that I posted on my channel not too long ago. In this particular zombie dream, I experienced most of the dream through the eyes of someone else. I have no idea who this person is. But when the dream started, I was experiencing it through my own eyes, and then probably about 1/3 of the way in the dream, it shifted into me experiencing it through somebody else's eyes. So, how the dream started off, I'm not sure if I was at a mall or an airport. If I had to guess, I would say it was probably more so an airport. But I was coming out of it, and as I was coming out of it, it was chaos. People running, screaming. It sounded like bombs were going off. They were shaking. And I ran outside in the parking lot. As I was running towards my car, I noticed that there were these lamps. They were bright and shining like gold. And they were standing at a few of the people's cars in the parking lot. And the lambs, they had like a very, I'm not going to say angry, but they looked very like stern and firm. Kind of like authoritarian, the expression on their face, like they meant business. So one was standing at my car. And then there was another one at another car, and then another one at another car. So it was about 3 in total. And when I saw this lamb, I don't know why, but I was a little scared just because of the facial expression. It looked very serious. And so at that point, the scene changed, and then I started experiencing the dream through the eyes of this woman. So this woman, she's a black woman, low haircut. Anyway, she was being sexually harassed by this man. I have no idea who this man was to her. It seemed like they knew each other. But he kept like groping her, just basically like trying to force her to do something sexual with him. And she kept trying to push him off of her. And so as she's pushing him off of her, she's heading towards this area that's very populated. It looks like there's martial law going on. There's military soldiers. They have their guns. And it's like these metal barricades up. So it looked like it was in Chicago to me, but it could have been in a different city. But, it looked like it was like a high population area. So I don't know if it was New York or San Francisco or, somewhere where it has a lot of people. But in the dream, I got the impression like, okay, this is Chicago, but it could have been somewhere else. Anyway, she started heading towards, the army people or the soldiers. And the scene shifted, and she was inside this building again with this man who was essentially trying to rape her or have sex with her. And she finally got him off of her, and she walked through these doors to where these scientists, I would guess they were scientists. I knew that they were working on a vaccine. And she was telling them that she wanted to speak to their manager. And she was demanding to speak to their manager, and she was very upset. And she was saying, "You're causing all of these people to be sick and to turn." And so I never actually saw zombies in this dream, but I knew what she was referring to. Like, I guess in my mind's eye, I knew that she was referring to zombies. And she said, "It's all your fault. You're causing all this with this vaccine. I need to speak to your manager right away." And so the scientists, they did not get upset. They did not get alarmed. They, just escorted her into this room. And so this room was at a lower level than where they were working. And when she got down there, there was these beings. They look like creatures. They crouch, and kind of like hop around like on all fours. They don't have any hair. They look very pale. The best thing I can say, I seen some TV shows with creatures that look like this. Yeah, so they're just like hopping around, looking at her. There's about 2 of them down there. And then as she's like, you know, standing there looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, these creatures that the top of them look human, but the bottom half of them are snake. She realized that that was their quote unquote manager, or who they worked for. It was these snake serpentine beings. I'm not quite sure what the little people hopping around on all fours were, but they were down there too. Anyway, they started talking to her. I can't quite remember what they said to her, but they let her know that they were in charge. And I got the feeling that she was about to be eaten. And then I woke up. So, not quite sure if this is saying that there's a connection with reptilians and the vaccine, or I know if people call it the snake bite. Not sure if I had that dream, because I've heard people say that, but I had this dream back in 2022. I can't recall if I heard that term snake bite before I had the dream, but yeah, I saw these serpentine beings, and they were in charge of producing the vaccine. And I thought it was really interesting, because since then I saw this TikTok where I don't know if it's the CEO or someone over one of those vaccine companies, his throat was doing something really weird, and people were trying to say that he was not human. If I can find that, I might put that in the video so you can see what I'm referring to.
And now I think with this announcement, we are making this dream reality.
Many of your medicines, we know from the COVID vaccine, very effective, very welcome. The logistics around that vaccine were not straightforward because of the new technology. Many of your medicines, we know from the COVID vaccine, very effective. From the COVID vaccine, very effective, very welcome. The logistics around.
But yeah, so I definitely wanted to share that one. And then more recently, I had another zombie dream, but this one, the zombies. So when it started out, it looked like a zombie apocalypse, but I quickly realized they weren't zombies; they were actually vampires. So I would definitely love to hear feedback or thoughts on this one. But so to start, I was in this auditorium with other people. No idea what we were there for or what we were about to watch. But people were sitting down waiting for something to happen. And then all of a sudden, chaos, panic ensued, because a large majority of the people in there just changed in like the blink of an eye. They just suddenly, it was just a big shift, and they just started attacking others that did not change. And so me being one of the people that did not change, you know, I'm trying to get out of the auditorium as quickly as possible. And essentially, a large part of the dream was me and other people, like a little group of us, trying to run and escape from these beings that look like zombies, because, you know, they're trying to feed on people. And so we're running down hallways, we're trying to barricade rooms. It just seems like they're coming from like every angle, until we see them about to come down one hallway and we run into this cafeteria. And when we run into this cafeteria and we barricade ourselves in, they're all in the cafeteria too. But these seemed a little bit more I want to say settled. Like they even though like we knew that they were different, they did not seem zombie-esque. They seemed more human. And so we had to get across to the other side of the room, but we didn't really want to pass them because we knew, like, okay, these things are trying to eat people. And so as we're trying to get past them or trying to move past them, we're hitting them with chairs, you know, any objects that we could find. But we're also like wondering, why aren't they as crazed as the ones that we just saw in the hallway? And then it dawned on me that, okay, these just got done feeding, so they're more settled. And so at that point, I look all the way at the end of the cafeteria, and I see one, and he's trying to get my attention. He's trying to lure me to the other end of the cafeteria to where he's at. And I notice that he has fangs. So when I realized he had fangs and he's trying to lure me, I'm like, there's no way I'm going over there to where he's at. And I'm seeing the other like zombies / vampires, whatever they are, they're sitting down. They're like real relaxed. And he realizes that I realize what he is. And so at that point, I don't know what he did, but he made me realize that he was the reason that all these beings or these people were turned or changed into whatever that they were. He did some kind of like mind control trick. No idea what it was, but he had all of them like get in like a, I don't know, it's like a pack. Like they all kind of like came together like robots. And like a snake charmer, he had them going back and forth, kind of like twisting and turning, like how like the snakes or the cobras do when a snake charmer is charming them. And they were looking at me, and their eyes were glowing. They were like a glowing orange color, the white part of their eyes. And I'm just sitting there looking at this like, what is going on? But they looked like they were in a trance. They looked like they were being mind controlled. And I looked back at this vampire that's standing off in the corner that was trying to lure me all the way to the other end. He's laughing like, yeah, I bet you didn't know it was me all this time. And so when I noticed that, I woke up. Now, this is not the first time that I've had, and I know this sounds so crazy, but I know that this is not the first time that I've had dreams about like a zombie apocalypse, and towards the end it actually is like a vampire. I had two more. So the one dream that I was referring to in the first zombie video, where I said that it occurred during a blackout, right at the tail end of that, before I woke up, the one that I realized that was responsible for the chaos or the zombie apocalypse, she tried to bite me, and she had fangs. Her fangs literally looked like snake fangs. Yeah, so at that point I was like, okay, what's up with the vampire thing? It was really weird, because before that I was having zombie dreams left and right, and they just seemed like regular zombies. And then I had another zombie dream. Now this one didn't have like vampires in it, but they were being mind controlled. There was this big giant lizard thing or dragon. It was like half robot, half like dinosaur. I don't know, but it was trying to stomp on me. And it was mind controlling all of the zombies. So basically these zombies were chasing me. I was trying to get away, and right before I got out of the wooded area that I was in, I saw this big like dinosaur robot thing that, you know, saw me and started trying to stomp on me, but it stopped the zombies that were chasing me and caused them to go back across like this open field thing to this farm area. And then he took it from there. He was chasing me and trying to stomp on me. So I definitely think that there could be something going on with like zombie, vampire. I know that sounds so crazy, but I mean, if you really think about it, so I mean, both of them are basically the same thing. Like you can turn into one, like the vampire media or zombie media, you turn into one by either like a bite or maybe a scratch. In order to turn into one, essentially you die. And then both of them eat people. I mean, it's really the same thing if you really think about it. The only thing is one can go out in the sun and then one essentially can't. And so since then, I looked at, Revelation, trying to figure out, what I was seeing. And I thought it was really interesting because in Revelation chapter 9, it talks about these locusts that are supposed to come out of the bottomless pit. And so I definitely think that these locusts are what I've been dreaming about. Whether you want to say is vampires or zombies, whatever you want to term it, I think that that's what myself and others have been seeing, because essentially it's like an army. It says that they have a breastplate of iron, so it's probably harder for them to die. They have faces of men. They have teeth like lions, which are essentially fangs. They rip into people. They don't hurt plants. They hurt people. They're tormenting people. And then they come about in darkness. So like when darkness falls onto Mystery Babylon, essentially that's when these things appear. So vampires are known for that. I mean, I'm not trying to say this stuff is real, but I do think it's weird. Like myself and maybe a few others have been dreaming about it. So I don't know. I notice now when I dream about zombies, they're no longer zombies, they're vampires. Like each of these dreams that I have now. So I think the Most High is like preparing me for what's to come. And I think he was like slowly introducing me to like, hey, this is what's coming. I had a dream maybe about a month ago where the sun exploded. This was after my solar flare dream that I shared. And the sun exploded, and then shortly after that there were like these vampires that appeared. So yeah, just things to, make you wonder if this is actually true. But I would love some feedback on what you all think. Yeah, I just wanted to get on here and share some of those. I hope to share some more dreams pretty soon. But yeah, thank you for listening. Have a good day.